Hello friends, the local time is 4:37, and although it has surely passed for you already, as I record this, Pokemon Day is just in a few hours. What a wonderful day for Pokemon fans all around the world, is what would be expected for us to think. However, as has been the case since 2016, the downfall of the series and the depths of horrifying atrocities that are beyond mankind's comprehension will soon be before us. At a time like this, what else can one do but reflect on the past? Today, I present to all of you a question mankind has been pondering ever since November 21st, 1999. Is Pokemon Gold version a good game? From this question, I imagine some of you may be wondering what I even mean, but some of you may be all ready to jump the gun, so let me clarify. Gen 2 is pathetic, may be one answer to that question. And to that, my retort is that I never even mentioned Gen 2, so think again. If you're thinking about Pokemon Heart Gold version, I want you to stop thinking about that and never remember those pitiful games ever again. Do not let Gen 2 be sullied by the existence of those unholy creations. Today, my friends, we will be exploring Pokemon Gold version and how it is objectively not just the worst choice between Gold and Silver, but it is a choice that will encourage the downfall of humanity. Now, well, hold on now, is what you're probably thinking. What even is the difference between these two games? Gold version, Silver version. We go through the same song and dance in every generation. They're the same game, isn't it? Well, not necessarily. It's nuanced. Pokemon Silver is the better game, objectively, and in a few minutes, you will all soon understand. I hope you will all understand. Now, unlike every other Pokemon game where it's usually the same exact game on like different cartridges, in Gen 2, the different versions actually had different sprites for the Pokemon, and this ends up in the two games having very apparent visual differences that makes Pokemon Gold a wholly inferior product. As a whole, the Gold sprites are very, very lacking, but there's actually a crucial detail to these sprites that is very easy to miss. So let's look at a few sprites together, and let's notice this together. First, let's take a look at Exeggutor's Gold sprite. Wow, you may think, this is a pretty cool sprite, huh? Well, sure it is, but let's take a look at this, my friends. I present to you Exeggutor's Pokemon Yellow sprite. Oh my goodness, what is this? Is this the same exact sprite? Now, let's take a look at Houndoom's Gold sprite. A cool sprite, no? But wait, you may be thinking, how can Houndoom, a new Pokemon in Generation 2, be used to show an example of sprites being reused? To that, let's take a look at the 1997 Space World prototype build. In there, we can see similarities to Houndoom's final sprite in Gold. Very similar pose, etc., but we can do better. Let's take a look at Xatu. Natu. Quillfish. Need I show more? Pokemon Gold is the very antithesis to evolution. To grow, we have to embrace and accept change. If society wishes to continually grow into the best it can be, we cannot be the same people we were yesterday. And it is this fundamental message that Pokemon Gold fails on. Pokemon Silver, on the other hand, learns from the past. It is making changes to be different than it was prior. It's not leaning on prior sprites, prototype assets. It is working to be new, different, better than it was before. In contrast to Pokemon Gold players who are arrogant and stuck in their ways and refuse to change, Pokemon Silver players are out here making the world a better place by constantly reevaluating themselves and adjusting themselves to be different than they were in the past. Between all Pokemon games, an important distinction has always been the version exclusives. Now, personally, version exclusives never really bothered me, as unlike many Pokemon fans, I would trade with friends if a friend had a Pokemon they had and I didn't. However, to appease the many Pokemon fans without this, I do need to consider version exclusives. So let's take a look at the list. The Kanto exclusives don't really matter, since I could just connect with Gen 1 for those, but Silver has some bangers like Skarmory, A giant metal flying bird. I mean, that's basically a Raijano Pokemon, and isn't that badass as fuck, sirs? And I mean, what else? Holy fuck, is that Delibird? Now, I know what you may be thinking, but the stats of Delibird suck, and to that, correct. But I think it just shows the true nature of Pokemon Silver fans. These people are generally very, very nice and generous, and tend to be non-combative. Instead of constantly looking for fights to pick and battles to be won, they're looking to be peaceful, and they don't mind helping their opponents if it means even it might hurt them in the end, because if we all just work to help each other, the world would be that much of a better place. Aside from what specific Pokemon are encountered, there are also very slight changes in the encounter tables. For example, let's take a look at the pocket monster Corsola, a beloved Pokemon by many. In Gold and Silver, this Pokemon appears in quite a few places, and looking at Cerebi's in-depth location details tells us as much. However, what it also shows is something astonishing to me, but perhaps delightful to the crowd who desire instant gratification. In Pokemon Gold, Corsola appears in Cerulean City, while in Silver, it does not. This information is Cerebi confirmed, friends. Now I, for one, think Corsola has no business in Cerulean City, and I have no problem taking the extra time out of my day to find something I love by walking down to Route 19. Pokemon Gold, on the other hand, practically hands it to you on a silver platter. What kind of message is this teaching our kids? That if you want something, you shouldn't have to take the time to go achieve it? It should just be given to you because you want it? Okay. Additionally, as I am sure you all are aware of, the encounters for the mascot legendaries differ depending on the version you are playing. Ho-Oh is fine. I like Ho-Oh, it's pretty okay. In Pokemon Gold, sure, you get Ho-Oh earlier, but at what cost? In exchange for your eagerness for Baby Sensory Rainbow Bird, you get Lugia without Aeroblast. Now maybe you can tell me, because I haven't got a clue, but what am I supposed to do with a Lugia that doesn't have Aeroblast? If your answer was to take it to the PC and release it, then congratulations, that's the same answer I've just come up with. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking, but Bela, surely you have Pokemon Stadium 2, right? With a Nintendo 64 to play it on? And a transfer pack? And the time to beat a run of the Elite Four so you can use the Move Tutor to teach your Lugia Aeroblast? In my opinion, a response like this is extremely classist. What, am I expected to drop a copious amount of time and money to make my Lugia usable? Well, as a representative of the working class, I find this unacceptable. Good people, honest people, are spending their time working just to live, and do expect them to use what little free time their employers begrudgingly hand over to them, and what little money they are able to save after an increasing cost of living to put towards getting a Lugia with Aeroblast? A real blow to the proletariat, don't you think? Supporting Pokemon Gold is the equivalent of supporting big business in the exploitation of workers' rights. Don't you wish to live in a world where we can all someday have a healthy work and home relationship? A world where many aren't abused by their employers? I, for one, am making this choice by choosing to play Pokemon Silver version, in support of the proletariat. Fellas, we've learned a lot here today. Not just about why Gold is worse than Silver, but we've also dived into the psyche of the individuals who actually prefer Pokemon Gold version to Pokemon Silver version, and we've explored the moral dilemma that this creates in society. Why do these people live the way they do? I may never be able to answer that question. I will tell you one thing though. The change to be a better person, in a better world, starts with you, and it depends on the choice you make from here on out. Are you going to choose Pokemon Silver version? Or are you going to choose Pokemon Gold version? I hope you can make the right choice from here on out. Not for me, but for the future of you, and for the future of our world.